Hello guys, welcome to our channel AskPrep. Today's series is for 11th class biology. We will be studying chapter 18 body fluids and circulation in detail. We have also added important notes for your exam preparation. All the best for your exam. Starting with blood, a fluid responsible for carrying oxygen and nutrients to cells and removing waste. Composed of red blood cells, RBCs, white blood cells, WBCs, platelets, and plasma. Blood plays an important role in transporting oxygen and nutrients to cells, removing waste products, maintaining body temperature, and defending against infections and diseases. It is pumped by the heart and flows through a network of arteries, veins, and capillaries, ensuring that all organs and tissues receive the necessary nourishment and oxygen for their proper functioning. Next is plasma, the liquid portion of blood, carrying nutrients, waste, and proteins such as fibrinogen, clotting, albumins, osmotic balance, and globulins, immune function. Formed elements are essential components of blood, consisting of erythrocytes, red blood cells, leukocytes, white blood cells, and platelets. Each type of cell plays a specific role in maintaining the body's health and functionality. Erythrocytes, RBCs, transport oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Leukocytes, WBCs, defend the body against infections, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Platelets, thrombocytes, help with blood clotting. Neutrophils are the most numerous and function as phagocytic cells, engulfing and destroying pathogens. Basophils secrete inflammatory substances like histamine, while eosinophils are involved in allergic reactions. Maintaining proper levels of formed elements is essential for overall health, as any imbalance can lead to various health issues, including anemia, infections, and bleeding disorders. Next is groups of blood. The ABO blood grouping system categorizes blood into four main types: A, B, AB, and O. These classifications are based on the presence or absence of specific antigens on the surface of red blood cells, RBCs. The two primary surface antigens are labeled as A and B. Blood type A has antigen A on its RBCs, blood type B has antigen B, blood type AB has both antigens A and B, and blood type O has neither antigen A nor B. This system is crucial for determining blood compatibility for transfusions and plays a significant role in medical procedures and treatments. Rhomboid classification. The Rh factor, named after the rhesus monkeys in which it was first discovered, is an antigen found on the surface of red blood cells, RBCs. Individuals with this antigen are considered Rh positive, while those without it are Rh negative. If a Rh negative person receives Rh positive blood, their body may produce antibodies against the Rh antigen, leading to potential complications in future transfusions. During pregnancy, a Rh negative mother carrying a Rh positive fetus can develop antibodies against the Rh antigen if the blood mixes during childbirth. This can result in a condition known as erythroblastosis fetalis, where the mother's antibodies attack the fetus's RBCs, leading to anemia and jaundice in the newborn. To prevent this, Rh-negative mothers are typically given injections of anti-Rh antibodies after the birth of their first child carrying a Rh-positive blood type. This helps prevent the development of Rh antibodies and reduces the risk of complications in subsequent pregnancies. Coagulation of blood. The process of blood clotting involves platelets and fibrin. It is essential for preventing excessive blood loss after injury. When activated by the enzyme thrombin, fibrinogen is converted into fibrin, which forms the structural framework of the clot. Platelets release certain substances that help initiate and promote the clotting process. Calcium ions play a crucial role in blood coagulation, aiding in the activation of various clotting factors. Overall, blood clotting is essential for wound healing and preventing excessive blood loss in the body. Next up is lymph, a fluid collected from tissues that plays a role in immune defense and fluid balance, transported via the lymphatic system. Lymph is another important fluid found in the body, alongside blood. As blood circulates through blood capillaries in tissues, some water and water-soluble compounds leak into the interstitial spaces. This fluid, known as tissue fluid or interstitial fluid, fills the spaces between cells and tissues. Overall, the lymphatic system plays a vital role in maintaining fluid balance in the body and supporting the immune system's functions by transporting lymphocytes and other immune cells. Pathways of circulation. After the trachea, the air passages divide into two bronchi, with each bronchus leading to one lung. Within the lungs, these bronchi further branch out into smaller tubes known as bronchioles, which extend throughout the lung tissue. The bronchioles eventually divide into numerous tiny ducts called alveolar ducts. At the end of these ducts are clusters of thin-walled air sacs called alveoli. These alveoli resemble bunches of grapes, with each cluster of alveoli known as an infundibulum. Circulatory system of the human body. The human circulatory system is comprised of the heart, blood vessels, and blood itself. The heart, a mesodermal organ, is situated in the thoracic cavity between the lungs. It is protected by a double membrane called the pericardium, which surrounds the pericardial fluid. The heart consists of 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. These chambers are separated by walls called septa. Walls within the heart ensure that blood flows in the correct direction. The tricuspid valve guards the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle, while the mitral valve, or bicuspid valve, protects the opening between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Semilunar valves are located at the exits of the right and left ventricles into the pulmonary artery and aorta, respectively. Composed of cardiac muscle, the heart contracts rhythmically to pump blood throughout the body. Specialized nodal tissue, including the sinoatrial SA node and atrioventricular AV node, coordinates this rhythmic contraction. The SA node, situated in the right atrium, acts as the heart's natural pacemaker, generating electrical impulses. These impulses travel through the AV node and along the atrioventricular bundle and Purkinje fibers, causing the heart muscle to contract and pump blood effectively. Cycle of the heart. The cardiac cycle is the series of events that occur during each heartbeat, involving both electrical and mechanical processes. It consists of 2 main phases, diastole and systole. During diastole, the heart's ventricles relax, allowing blood to flow into them. This is followed by atrial systole, where the atria contract, increasing blood pressure in the atria to push blood into the ventricles. At this stage, the AV valves are open while the semilunar valves are closed. Next comes ventricular systole, where both the right and left ventricles contract, further increasing blood pressure to pump blood into the arteries. Here, the AV valves close and the semilunar valves open to allow blood to exit the heart. Finally, cardiac diastole occurs as the heart relaxes to fill with blood again. During this phase, both the atria and ventricles relax together. The mitral valve opens when the left ventricular pressure decreases below the left atrial pressure, allowing blood to fill the left ventricle. Similarly, the tricuspid valve opens when the right ventricular pressure falls below the right atrial pressure, allowing blood to fill the right ventricle. Throughout the cardiac cycle, the heart maintains a rhythmic pattern of contraction and relaxation, ensuring continuous circulation of blood throughout the body. Let's understand in detail.
This animation illustrates a single cardiac cycle starting with the right side of the heart. In reality, of course, the 2 sides of the heart work together at the same time, but it is easier to understand if we look at them separately because each side of the heart is a different function. The cardiac cycle begins is deoxygenated blood flows from the body into the right atrium via the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. In the next phase of the cycle, the right atrium contracts, pumping blood into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Once the right ventricle fills with blood, the tricuspid valve closes to prevent blood flowing back into the atrium. The right ventricle contracts, forcing the pulmonary valve to open as blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery. Blood then travels to the lungs in the pulmonary valve, closes at the same time. The right atrium relaxes, ready to accept the next intake of blood. In the lungs, the blood picks up oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Oxygenated blood flows from the lungs into the left atrium via the pulmonary veins. The left atrium contracts to pump blood into the left ventricle through the mitral valve. Once the left ventricle has filled with blood, the mitral valve closes. Next, the left ventricle contracts, forcing the aortic valve to open, allowing blood to be pumped into the aorta and from there around the body. The aortic valve closes to prevent blood flowing back into the left ventricle and the left ventricle relaxes, ready to accept the next intake of blood. Cardiac cycle is now complete.
The sound of the heartbeat produces a distinctive lub-dub sound. The first sound, lub, occurs when the mitral and tricuspid valves close at the beginning of ventricular systole. The second sound, dub, happens when the aortic and pulmonary valves close at the end of ventricular systole. Let's hear this.